Yeah, folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to a Thursday stream featuring Age of Wonders 4. So this bad boy is coming out just sort of May, right? Hold on, I have it in my what game, and then I immediately forgot what numbers I punched in there. Yeah, May the 2nd, Age of Wonders officially comes out. So we are a month away from the release, and yet Paradox has said, why don't you show off the faction maker part of the game? Which sounds pretty good. I've had access to Age of Wonders 4 for a little bit now, which has been lovely. Unfortunately, I can't show you the actual gameplay today. All we can do is go through the process of setting up the custom map and everything if we want to look at those options, but then we can get into the nitty-gritty of the important stuff, which is the custom faction and character creation. We're dedicating an entire stream to just that, which is good. We're going to go for about an hour, and we'll see exactly what we can do. 2 months away. 2 months away! Oh my god! I forgot about April completely! You know why? It's because, honestly, the game's in a pretty good shape right now. Maybe it's just because we've been playing, stuff like KSP 2. And I still have, some satisfactory flavors in my mouth that didn't, game's in pretty good shape right now. So we do have some sponsored gameplay streams that are happening next month. So I'm excited for that as well. But, so we are going to get some content before release of actual proper gameplay. But here we're going to work on the custom faction. And you may have noticed this handsome boy over here. The one critique I'll say about this game is when I first started playing it and tried to make custom characters, there was no horned helmet option. And now I've got a custom cosmetic in the game, because I brought it up. We've got ourselves a furry hat with horns and glasses. The people at Triumph made a custom cosmetic for me. This will be available as a Twitch drop in the future. So you, too, will be able to get that sexy Quill18 fit going on in your characters, which is going to be just wonderful. Stupid April. God. 2 months away? That's terrible. I'm so sorry that I, teased you to say it's a month away. It's 2. Talk about a Quill of Life feature? Yes. QOL, Quill of Life feature, with the hat. Oh, man. I'm so happy. Yeah, April fooled you. I mean, April's even the month of my birthday. I was like, no, surely we can just ignore April completely, right? Did you have a look at the bottom corner of the screen? It says you're an influencer now. I know. Boy, me and Kylie Jenner were basically the exact same person. Is Kylie Jenner an appropriate reference? I'm not really hip when it comes to pop culture. You also notice on one side of this, it's also nice and confidential as well. Oh, hello. Okay, no problem. For those of you who do follow on the Discord, you may see the note that I'm currently getting a water meter replacement. So we're getting a little foot traffic coming through at the same time, which is fun. Do you need a hand? Just to the left of the doorway there. There you go. So we get fun bonus content today. Quill has never influenced me to buy a game. Yeah, that's right. That's not what I do. If I play a game, obviously no one ever goes and buys it afterwards. So this is a sponsored stream. Speaking of, so full disclaimers over there, but I'm really hyped to play this. Really, really, really excited. So anyway, without further ado, let's go and see what happens when I hit the new game button. So you can't show gameplay, but you can talk about it. So that's one thing. I have been dabbling with the gameplay. I'm a little leery about necessarily answering specific gameplay questions because I don't know what has been shown. Paradox has done a little bit of preview of it, and of course we got the dev diaries and things. And part of me, if there's going to be a specific question, I'm going to be like, has that been revealed already? Maybe I shouldn't talk about it. So we'll see what we can do about addressing things. When we'll see the water meter. Yeah, I'll get a water meter cam for you guys shortly, so you guys can see exactly the water consumption we go through over here. So Realms, what's really cool about this, so they've got this sort of idea, and they have done a dev diary about this, where the Realms are actually going to try to progress some of the story. And one of the things as well is, I guess, whenever you finish a game, when you beat a game, your character can be added to your pantheon, and add to the progression. There's a character tree there, which has been shown in dev diary, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to click on it and do that. So you guys can just look up the dev diaries for that. So there's going to be this sort of meta progression outside of individual campaigns. A lot of it is just unlocking more cosmetic for your future characters and tweaking some of the different startup options that you have available to you, which is kind of neat. I think it's I kind of like it because I'm a very sort of achievement driven person where I love the idea of like unlocking just a little bit more content. Just, you're either sometimes, especially with the Paradox games, right? You look at the achievement list and you're like, all right, maybe this will influence what nation I'm going to play as, or what kind of gameplay style I'm going to go for. So I really do quite like that a lot. We do have the ability to make our own custom realms as well over here. There's a little custom tab, but it is empty because I haven't made a custom realm yet. So I can show off the custom realm creation screen over here, as well as the faction stuff. The faction stuff, I think, is the crunch we're a little bit more interested in, but we'll go ahead and take this first. By the way, I did tweak my sound settings again, so let me know if anything's blowing out or anything like that, but I think we should be okay. So we get our standard sort of options over here, right? Distance between the player spawns, overall players on the map, difficulty level, whether the turns are classic, so one player takes the whole turn, ends their turn, the next player goes, or if it's simultaneous. Simultaneous is a lot speedier. It's really nice. Every now and again, you get a thing where you're trying to you move your army right before another character. Which is sometimes a little awkward in these games, but overall, generally speaking, I do prefer the simultaneous because it does speed things up a lot, because you're not having to, when you hit end turn, you can kind of start playing your next turn right away. You don't have to wait for all the AIs to take their move. I can't remember if any of the versions of Civ had simultaneous play. I think they did for online version. Trying to remember if in a single player it was there. I know that Age of Wonders Planetfall had it, and this is very much based on like the Age of Wonders Planetfall engine. The combat mechanics, again, I don't know if they've been really talked about in depth, so whatever. But as far as I can tell, it is based on the Age of Wonders Planetfall mechanics as opposed to, say, Age of Wonders 3. So yeah, simultaneous I think is really important for multiplayer, because otherwise all the human players are sitting around waiting for everyone else to take their turn. So I think simultaneous is required, in my opinion, for a good multiplayer experience. But single player might end up going classic, and it doesn't matter because we're not actually playing today. Anyway, so we've got that. We've got a few more options over at the top. We've got customized realm over there, and we've got a few other categories to choose from. So first, we can choose the geography trait. So there's going to be a lot of options here for the map generation. So continents divide is interesting. So land-dominated realm divided in two by ocean. So I guess it is two massive continents kind of vibe. Islands, one big landmass, probably like a Pangea kind of vibe. Yeah, lava divide. So you can't even use boats to cross. Okay. Barren oceans. Contested landmass is separated by uninhabitable deserts, where sandstorms rage. This realm consists of several large landmasses separated by oceans of uninhabitable deserts. Oh, that's why it's called barren oceans. Each empire shares landmass with one or two other empires. So that's interesting. So it's almost like playing an islands map, but you can walk from one island to another. You just can't settle in between there. Oh, that's quite neat. We've also got over here, we've got our climb traits. I like that. Not climate traits, climb, which feels like kind of an archaic word. I mean, it's a perfectly cromulent word, but how often do you hear the word climb these days? Gameplay, it's also included. No gameplay, just character creation. I cannot actually show gameplay today. So we've got desert, endless fields. Oh, just beautiful rolling plains. Excellent. And the nice thing, like, you can have like none, which I guess is going to be a mix of different places potentially, but you can say the whole thing. Listen, we're gonna go ultra Scottish dwarfy here and require a Highlands map. Inhabitants trait. So the kind of, I think this is like the monsters and things, like the neutral people that are gonna be there. Hey, Lazy Boot, thanks for the resub. So astral sea creatures, demonic realms. I think there was one megafauna, just giant, large, and ferocious beasts. Marauder animal units gain empowered beasts. I do like the it does have like the good sort of tooltip hyperlink system that more and more games are putting into place here, where we can keep the tooltip open, mouse over another part of it, then keep mousing over another part of it for more context over here. I like the way that it kind of fades out as you go as well. Like, really, really helpful. Like, there is going to be an encyclopedia. Well, there is an encyclopedia in here, which again, I'm not sure I can open right now, so I'm not gonna. So, you can go there and get that information. You can just do a lookup and browse through a bunch of information on there. But the contextual tooltips here are really, really, really useful. So that's nice. What else we got here? Presence trait. Artisan Kings. This realm is home to 2 powerful cities, each an empire in itself led by artisan kings. I wonder if these feel like a fallen empire in Stellaris or like an enclave in Stellaris for people who have played Stellaris. I wonder what the vibe of these things is going to be like. And then, then we've got more miscellaneous traits that we can put in as well. One of the things, if we do pop out of here and we look at like these pre-made realms over here, so like the Husklins over here, we can see that basically this has been set up with those traits. The Rampant Undeath, Curse of Undeath, and No Respite over here, I believe are all options we can choose. Potentially. We might not be able to choose them, but effectively like that. That actually might be something that you unlock via the Pantheon for more like replayability, variation and stuff. Okay, so there's that customization that is available. We've also got advanced settings over here, where, so this is the more advanced total setup for the game with choosing the ruler traits. Anyway, I think we're going to go into, I scrolled past No Respite twice. Oh, did I? But what about, I was looking for the others. So there's No Respite. Was Curse of Undeath one of them? It might have been. But what was the third one? I was looking for the first thing I named, and that's what I hadn't seen. So I guess it is presumably all in there. Unlimited power. Oh, inhabitants equals undead. That was the other thing. Rampant Undeath. There you go. So yeah, that's basically, they've got some presets in there with some themes, but you can go and make your own. I think this is going to be great for Let's Plays and stuff, because we love themed runs of things, right? Like, one of the things I personally like to play more, but I also like to do more as a Let's Play, is I love it when games give us variation between runs. That's one of the reasons where, if we're going like way classically back, one of the reasons that I, for a long time, preferred Master of Magic and Master of Orion to something like Civilization, right? If we're going way, way back, and then Age of Wonders would fall in there under the Master of Magic sort of fantasy turn-based strategy game, because of the amount of customization that was available, right? Civ, every game of Civ can feel a little bit the same. More modern versions of Civ have done, more and more done more things where the different empires feel a little bit, kind of unique to each other, but it's still mostly same-ish. Whereas things like what Age of Wonders does here is they give you huge amounts of variation in the setup of the map, which is great. And then on top of that, we get the custom faction system where each one is going to feel very different. And I think Age of Wonders 4 takes that further than some of the other titles that we've seen, which is super hype. So, we'll just go ahead and pick. Let me back up here. I'll just pick the newbie realm. It doesn't matter because we're not going to play. We're just going to advance to. Yeah, okay, that's the same information we just had. We're going to advance to the faction creation phase, which is the other thing that we're allowed to show on the stream, and I think this is going to be the big things. Oh, and those games do it quite well, yeah. But yeah, this looks like it has a lot of replayability. And again, it really encourages the replayability with the whole Pantheon system. Again, there'll be... hang on, I'll find the dev diary for you. Age of Wonders 4 dev diary, Pantheon. There's not one, I think, just... Oh, there's one called Realms in the Pantheon. But I think it was talked about in a couple of different ones. Are these two the same link? Yeah. So I'm just going to drop a link in there. You guys can read about that afterwards. But I think that's going to be quite cool. All right. So these are pre-made factions, right? Pre-made characters that have been set up. We've got a whole slew of them over here that we can choose from. Why would we choose something that was pre-made when we can just make our own? Again, we've got this custom tab. Oh, this was me derping around earlier and just checking to see how it was working. But yeah, we can just go ahead and create our own custom faction. So we'll do that.
What is your people's form?
What is your people's form? What I like about this, such a stupid thing, as we click through here, now they're definitely like, they're glowing out their eyes. But right over here, it looks like there's smoke coming out of this guy's ears. I don't know why I find that so funny, but I really do. It just looks like he's smoking out of his ears just because of the way the camera is lined up with his eyes and ears, right? It's like, it's quite obvious with like the dwarves, like, yep, it's out of their eyes. The elves, yep, that's out of their eyes. It's just for some reason the feel, just the male one. It looks like he's got a hot head that's coming out there. Ate a hot pepper, exactly. So we got a lot of physical forms to choose from. Now, I don't know for sure, but I think this is literally, at this point, the physical form by itself, I think may be purely cosmetic. Now, as we click through this, you can see there's body and mind traits down here that cycle through. So, for example, halflings have quick reflexes and are elusive. Humans have fast recuperation and are adaptable, right? Dwarves are tough and have defensive tactics. But we can change this. We can decide that our dwarves have fast recuperation, and we're playing desert dwarves over here. So I don't know if the physical form has impact on anything else. I suspect that the physical form by itself, other than having a preset for your body and mind traits, is probably cosmetic, which again leads to fantastic replayability and customization. So, you know, just clicking on dwarves doesn't mean you get the exact same dwarfy experience every time. But yeah, there are a good number of races. How many of these? 5? Is that 10? I think that might be 10. Well, we'll go ahead and look at them all. So we have the Toadkin, who also have boobs, because I don't know much about toads, but I'm pretty sure that's how they work. Ratkin, Orcoid, Molekin. Actually, they look really sweet. Can I not? Oh, I can't rotate it here. I think you can rotate your character on the next screen, but they actually look really nice. They look like something out of like a Kung Fu Panda or something like that. You know what I mean? We got humans. Who'd ever want to play that? The halflings look great. They look awesome. Goblinoids. They look very similar to me. Like they look straight out of like the Harry Potter franchise. Yeah, feline over here. Elfkin, and dwarf. And of course, we're going to go with dwarf, because why would we do anything else? But let's take a look at all the traits that are available here. Because, yeah, there's a huge amount. I'm sorry, unicorn mounts? Does anyone start with that? No. Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, so we don't really care, I'm going to suggest, about, let me move my camera over here. I'm going to suggest that we don't care about clicking through and checking everyone's traits. I suppose if you're watching this on the VOD or you're watching this on YouTube, you can pause and rewind to see what default traits all these species get. But in a sense, it doesn't matter, because we can just look at what all the traits are available here and see what the options are. But hold on, I need a little de-snifflage. There we go. Done. Let me change my... Theoretically, no, but maybe. When I changed from the new computer... So I changed mics in December, and then in January I did tweak my mic setup with the compressor settings and things like that. And then I didn't change it for, until 3 or 4 days ago when I got the new computer. And in theory, I copied all the settings over, although I did notice this morning I had missed one thing. So... depending on what context you're talking about, yes, I have changed my mic, or no, I have not changed my mic. Anyway, all right, let's look at these options. So the body traits we can choose from. So by default, the dwarves are tough. If we look at tough over here, units take less damage from physical attacks. They get +2 defense. So as far as I can tell at a glance, and I haven't played extensively, and again, I don't know exactly what I can talk about context-wise over here. As far as I can tell, though, the combat mechanics are the same. I'm going to move my head some more. Are the same as the Age of Wonders Planetfall. So the way defense works is, so when you take damage, it multiplies the damage by 0.9 to the power of the defense rating of the unit, which means each point of defense reduces damage by 10% multiplicatively. You multiply it. So if you were supposed to take 10 damage and you have 0 defense, then you take 10 damage. If you were supposed to take 10 damage and you have 1 defense, you take 9 damage, so you take 10% off. If you have a second defense, you take another 10% off, but it doesn't go down to 8, it goes to 8.1, and then it goes to 7.3. I don't know, you just keep taking 10% off every time. Which, depending on how you're looking at that, you could look at stacking defense as having diminishing returns, but I don't think that's the right way to look at it. Whatever damage you are supposed to take, getting an extra point of defense will always make you take 10% less damage from what you're about to take, right? Even if you have 1,000,000 defense, which admittedly would reduce the damage to like a tiny little number, adding one other point of defense would still take that tiny number and take 10% off. Whether it stops being worth it after a while, I don't know. The math works out. So at 7 points of defense, you're taking 52% less damage from everything. And then I think, when you get to, I think, 13 defense, it works out to you're taking about 75% less. You can also look at it as a hit point multiplier, right? If you have 7 defense, it's almost the same as if you have double the hit points. Only against physical damage, though, right? So the dwarves are tough by default, so they do get +2 defense, which I think is pretty strong. We also got Bulwark over here. So I think defense mode is something that we have access to naturally. I think unless I'm getting my words wrong, in Age of Wonders Planetfall, like when you end a turn, I think you can end your turn in defense mode, and then you get additional defense, and also any attacks, action points you have left over, you can use for attacks of opportunity. So I'm assuming that's that situation. So there's another way to get +2 defense, but also resistance and also immunity to flanking, which is kind of nice. The default Dwarven Mind trait, I guess you can't tooltip from here. Maybe it's because I have this window open. The default Dwarven Mind trait is Defense Tactics, which gives us +1 defense and resistance when standing next to a friendly unit with defensive tactics. So, this encourages you to have your units stacked together and have at least one of them in the middle of the pack be using defense mode, which could mean that grabbing Bulwark along with defensive tactics is actually a really good combo, because it's really incentivized you to stay in defense mode. Oh boy, we're having the effective HP arguments from WoW again. Yeah, World of Warcraft or any of the action RPGs, right? Like stuff like Path of Exile or whatever. EHP, effective hit points, is a huge thing that you talk about for context, because there's your actual hit points, but then when you factor in all your mitigation, your effective hit points are... Anyway, so we have that. What else we got? Fast recuperation over here. Heals 15 hit points after battles. Now, I don't know what the passive hit point regeneration is. I don't know how static you have to be. So how much of a difference this makes is a bit of a question mark. Obviously, it's also going to depend on how many hit points units have, which seems to be in the mid to high double digits, sort of as a sort of vague whatever. So, I mean, this is a chunk of hit points. It's not going to fully heal you in any way whatsoever, but yeah. Oh yeah, EVE Online, they talk about effective hit points as well. Yeah, absolutely. Hardy is +10 flat hit points across the board. So at some point you start to wonder, what's better, more defense versus more hit points? And in a sense they work together, right? Since higher defense values acts as effectively a hit point multiplier, the two sort of stack together. But if you haven't pick and choose, it's a whole thing. Nice thing about Hardy and the extra hit points is it works against all damage types, right? Not just physical. It will work against any kind of magical damage as well. I don't know what all the damage types are. I know there are a number of them, because like various spell effects will do damage of different types. Probably fire. I think there was a spirit damage I saw somewhere, something like that, right? So there's probably different types. So I assume physical damage is probably the most common, especially at the early stages of the game. But I suspect as you get further and further in, and the characters have access to more spells, so you're getting like zapped from the sky more often, and I'm assuming more and more of the advanced unit types that you might gain access to might do more and more elemental damage. So it's possible that the physical defense value becomes less important in late game, but I suspect it's very good early on. On the other hand, later game, you might be getting higher and higher hit point values as well. So maybe Hardy starts to matter less too. I don't know. In terms of, people will do, of course, at some point people will work out tier lists, right, for these traits. It's like, this is an S tier, like top tier, awesome trait you should like pick if you want an easy, cheesy game. And this other trait over here is like, well, it doesn't really do that much. It sounds good, but in practice, whatever. But we won't know what those are until, people have started putting a couple hundred hours into the game. Keen Sight. I think L will start with this. Range shots hit more often. Plus 20% accuracy on physical ranged and magic attacks. That's a lot of accuracy. That seems like a lot. I suspect the reason it feels like a fairly large number is I think ranged attacks do get accuracy drop-offs from cover and also like distance quite a bit. So ranged dwarfs blasphemy, I don't know, crossbows, muskets and things like that, it is very, very dwarfy depending on the scenario that you're in. So I could sort of see that. Quick reflexes, useful for approaching enemy ranged units. We're 30% harder to hit by ranged attacks. Again, that seems really good. seems really good. You can think about it quick reflexes. You could also think of it as like a Spartan, like shield wall kind of vibe, right? Yeah, Dwarven Rifleman is like a fancy staple. Yes, absolutely. Resilient. Units are less likely to be affected by negative status effects. So we get +3 status resistance. I believe status resistance works out mechanically the same as the defense value, where each point of it gives you effectively a 10% via math reduced chance of being affected by the status. So I think +3 is a fairly considerable amount of being able to just shake it off. Shake it off. Ba-da-ba. Sorry, we watched some Taylor Swift things last night, and I've got it in my head. On the other hand, we've got resistance. Yeah, so this reduces non-physical damage. So this is armor. So resilient is reducing your chance of being affected by a status. Again, I'm not entirely sure about how the math for it works out. Resistance, though, is just very straight up easy to understand. As far as I know, it works exactly the same as armor, or rather as the defense trait, but for non-physical attacks. So tough is our +2 versus physical attacks. Resistance is +2 versus non-physical attacks. So many races. Yeah, 10 races, and I mean, again, this is just the physical thing. This is your skin, really, that you're picking, as far as I know. The customization is going to be a significant thing. Where were we? Resolute. Units can more easily resist enemies that use a lot of status effects. Negative status effects last -1 turn with a minimum 1. So this is interesting, right? Whereas Resilient reduces your chance of getting a status in the first place. Resolute just lets you shake it off faster. I'm so sorry. I guess the thing for this is we'd really have to start getting a sense of what status effects are you're most likely to get hit by, which ones are most common, which ones are most problematic, and what their duration is. If a duration of an effect is like 10 turns, shaving 1 turn off of that is nothing. But I'm trying to remember from playing Planetfall, I think quite a lot of effects are like they might be like 3 turns or something. So I mean, this is pretty substantial, I think. Again, we'll have to check, but I think that's actually fairly substantial. Strong! Increases physical damage of melee and range attacks. They deal +10% damage. I think a lot of the starter units, I did look at one of the base units, and so one of the early base units you start and have access to is like, let's say it's like 12 damage or something like that. So, I mean, I guess whatever it is, 10% is 10%. I don't know. Personally, I would not be surprised if strong ends up being one of those traits that isn't that strong. Although it does let you burst things down. You really would have to like focus your army on being all about physical damage, right? So obviously any of your units that might have magic attacks won't really benefit from this, but this might be good for like various rush things or something like that. Web, at least in Age of Wonders 3, was 2 or 3 turns. Okay. Death is probably the most cumbersome status effect. Yeah. Common duration 2 to 3 turns. That's what I recalled from Planetfall. So, yeah. So I think Resolute is actually really strong. Tough over here, we know what that is. That's our +2 defense that we're looking at. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of mount options here. Nightmare Mounts, a powerful boost for your mounted units, but has no effect on your other units. So I think with this, isn't for... So it's not for your ground units. I'm assuming it affects any type of cavalry type unit that you have. Also, your heroes can get a mount. I don't know if this affects your heroes with the mount, because like the mount will be like, oh, this hero has a boar mount or whatever. So this might be specifically for cavalry. I don't know. And unfortunately, I can't jump into the game to confirm one way or another right now for you guys. But Nightmare Mounts, +10% HP, gain the intimidating aura. At the end of this unit's turn, adjacent enemy units have a base 90% chance of losing 5 morale. And yeah, high morale units can crit a lot more. Low morale will fumble instead. So potentially this could be really good. I like it. We can make our like Nazgul type units, right? Oh, and then there you go. Ruler starts the Nightmare Mount. So I'm assuming this affects cavalry, and then yeah, apparently your ruler starting mount. So it'll be interesting to see what the base HP of like mounted units are. But it is worth noting, like I didn't mean to pick it. Hardy gives all your units 10 more hit points. This also gives them 10 hit points and some other things, although only to specific types of unit. So with something like the Nightmare Mounts and presumably the others, this will work out well if you are going to hyper-focus on building mounted units, which you would, which sounds pretty nice. No beetle or boar or bear mount. Again, I think, and again, I can't go into the game to confirm, but I think when I did just a test start just this morning, actually, and I checked, I think my Dwarven hero actually started with I think your hero always starts with a mount, and I think my Dwarven hero started with a boar mount. But yeah, I guess there's not a racial one. Spiders! For if you want to play a drow? I say drow, but either way works. Mounted units now have spider mount with unique abilities. Does not affect non-mounted units, so 10 hit points. We gain the web ability, so we web stuff. Deals damage in 1 hex radius. Immobilize, 60% chance of immobilizing for 1 turn. Unicorn mounts, which sounds great. 10 hit points. Phase ability lets you teleport to a hex, right? I'm assuming that's range 3, so it's not a really long range, but I bet you this can be really powerful for disrupting formations. If this lets you jump on top of a wall, which as far as I know, phasing units in the Age of Wonders series can usually use that to jump on top of a wall or on the other side of a wall. This seems stupid good. Yeah, we don't know how whether or not it's affected by line of sight and what that means, but yeah, it does seem really good. And I mean, I don't know how well, like as a trope, unicorn-mounted dwarves, I don't think is a thing that exists, but maybe it should. And obviously, it makes great sense if you're playing some froofy elves or something like that. That's very very appropriate. And then we've got some woofs over here. Wolf mounts. Powerful boost, mounted units, no effect on anything else. So same thing, 10 hit points. We get 2 abilities this time. We get the Pack Hunter passive. So melee attacks deal 20% damage per friendly adjacent unit with Pack Hunter. Surround an enemy with your units mounted on wolves, and you do a crap ton more damage. And then we also get the Enfeebling Howl ability. It's actually not 1 per combat. It's just got a 2-turn cooldown. Applies 1 weaken to enemy units within a hex. Deals minus 10% damage. And stacks up to 5 times. So again, surround a unit, Enfeebling Howl a lot, you can drop its damage down to like 50%. Oh, you missed the spiders? The spiders have an ability to toss a web. So wolf mounts seem really good too. Makes me think of like kobolds in 4E and 5E D&D have oh shit. I don't know if we're still streaming. My video card driver just crashed. I was having this problem yesterday with Flight Simulator. I might have to do a little reboot here. I did... oh, there we go. So we're back in. I think it killed the game. There, still on. Okay. Don't send. I'm going to restart it again. So, yeah, I was having this problem with Flight Simulator. I read online that... more recent NVIDIA and AMD Radeon cards have an issue with MPO, which I can't remember what it stands for. It's like multiplane something. Multiplane overlay. And a lot of people reported that disabling MPO fixed their driver crash issues with both their NVIDIA and Radeon cards. And this is just in general, multiple games. And I did that, and apparently it didn't resolve my issue so far. Hopefully I don't have a bum video card. Again, a brand new video card, a whole new brand new computer I just set up. But yeah, so it's not Age of Wonders, it's my video card.
What is your people's form?
Which I'm disappointed about. Cyberpunk was fine. Flight Simulator led to the driver crash, and apparently Age of Wonders here as well, so we'll see. Anyway, we're back over here. So we finished looking at all the mounts. I guess we're going to look at the mine trades next. Updated BIOS, fixed my GPU. Well, I could check it again. I did have to flash my firmware to build my computer in the first place because it wasn't set up to support my my 13th generation CPU. I need to flash the firmware to do that, but there might be a different type of BIOS update that I'll have to check. So I'm gonna go through and see what I can do. I'm definitely in the latest video card driver, but yeah, there might be some other things to check up on that because that's gonna be real annoying if this starts happening to more and more of my games. Maybe the video card's nanometer short being fully seated in socket. Could be. As far as I know, it's not overheating. I was watching those specs and the numbers are all good. But yeah, so we'll see. Anyway, let's take a look at the mind traits now. So the dwarves start with defensive tactics, which we had looked. So if someone has... Oh, hold on. This is not if we go into defensive mode. So this doesn't care if we go into defensive mode or anything. It just matters if we're next to another unit with defensive tactics, which all my units would. So as long as a unit is next to another one of my units, since it doesn't stack, we get +1 defense and resistance. So as long as we move at least in pairs, it's quite good. Ah, very good. I like that. I keep clicking instead of just mousing over. Adaptable, flat out 30% more experience for your units. So your units do gain experience. I think every time they attack, they gain experience, plus potentially just having participated in battles and things like that will generate more experience points for them. And as they rank up, they do get additional stats. I don't know how their stats change per level. I don't know what the cap is on there. So, the value of this, I think humans start with it as a default. Arcane Focus. So this is like the strong trait, which was giving us, I think, 10% more physical damage. This makes magic attacks deal 15% more, which is more, but I think fewer units have magical attacks. So I think that's why the number's probably a little bit higher. Cold-Blooded. -50% morale lost from all sources. Units are less likely to rout. Oh, okay. So yeah, your units have morale. In previous versions of Age of Wonders, you had sort of all kinds of like empire level effects to morale that would determine how your units were sort of entering the battle. And then, yeah, being at high morale, you crit more, low morale, you fumble more. So, and in combat, we saw, for example, the Wolf Howl ability was one way that a unit could lose morale. And presumably there's tons of other ways to do it. So this just reduces the amount that you lose from that. It might also, if there's like global effects or anything like that, if that affects that, that's actually quite sweet. Oh, God, stop clicking on things. We already looked at defensive tactics. Elusive, I think, is what the halflings were starting with. Gain +6 defense, which is huge, and resistance against retaliation attacks and opportunity attacks. So retaliation attacks is if you attack a unit that still had action points left over at the end of its turn, after you hit it, it gets to hit you back. And opportunity attacks, I believe, if you are moving through or out of like an adjacent zone of control from another unit, you get this. I feel like this is a really significant number because I think that retaliation attacks, at least in Planetfall, I think were a significant part of the strategy. So I feel like that's pretty good. Was a star next to human? I think that's the recommended default for beginners race. I think that's what the star is. I think it was the same thing on some of the other screens. We'll see. Wow, we're already 40 minutes in, and there's so much more to the setup than just this. All right, fast initiative. Units can normally only travel a distance of 4 hexes. Instead, the first turn of combat, we can move up to 6 hexes. Might be super good. I suspect this is not something I'm going to favor personally, but we'll see. Ferocious deals 40% damage via retaliation attacks and opportunity attacks. So sort of a mirror to Elusive in a way here. So this one here is going to be all about walk up to the enemy and then end your turn so that you're set up for retaliation attacks. Right? Maybe, I don't know if defensive mode triggering eats your attack point, your action points or anything like that. It'll be interesting to see how those combo up. Overwhelm tactics. Units deal more damage when fighting in groups, plus 20% critical hit chance when standing next to a friendly units with overwhelm tactics. This combined with like the wolf pack stuff is going to could set you up for like really see about like swarm one unit, insta kill it, swarm a unit, insta kill it. Whether or not you can routinely like navigate in that way, we'll see. I'm presuming cavalry units have more movement, so it might be easier to range. Although this would also work with non-cav units. Sneaky. Reward smart positioning in combat, plus 25% damage on flanking attacks. So units do have a facing. I think it's hex-based, so I think it's got 3 hexes that are considered the front and 3 hexes that are considered sort of the back, the flank. And normally when you attack someone from a flank, they can't retaliate. I think you might get a bonus to hit as well in general, and then we get more here with the sneak attack. Tenacious! Units at low health will still deal a lot of damage. Damage penalties from casualties are halved. So yeah, I think as your stack of units loses some of its figures, you deal less and less damage. So Tenacious counters that a little bit. And then we got some terrain adaptation. Arctic, so snow and ice terrain costs -2 movement points, and you're able to build farms on snow terrain. Desert is the same thing, less penalty from sand, and you can build farms on it. Underground adaptation. Cavern floors cost less movement, and you can build farms. We also get a starting bonus called excavation, which is presumably the ability to dig earthen terrain in the underground so you can navigate through there. I mean, that sounds pretty dwarfy to me. And then water adaptation, same thing. Swamps and build farms over there. So we're not playing the game here, so we don't need to worry about what we're picking. We're going to hit select to move to the next screen over here before my video card decides to die again. What if someone's... Oh, yeah. I'll see about any, like, more BIOS updates or something like that. Very annoyed by this problem, because this is going to cause me some issues. All right, what is their culture origin? So we got 6 choices over here. Feudal. So, these all come with affinities for certain magic. So there has been a dev diary about that as well that you can look up. The affinity system, there's this sort of tree that you gain access to after 2 turns of gameplay. That is... it's got these branches for different affinities that you get bonuses. So every turn while you have an affinity in play, you accumulate a certain amount of affinity points. And when you get... I think we crashed again. Gosh, dang it. Because everything's just hanging. Yep. Well, I'll send it to them. But yeah, it's the whole video card. And it's the same thing that was happening with Flight Simulator. I'm so sorry. Computer's only a week old. I thought I'd resolve the issues. Dang it. All right. I might be able to change another setting in my video card stuff. But yeah, there's always this process. All right.
What is your people's form?
So yes, you accumulate these affinity points and then use those to unlock bonuses that give you all kinds of extra bonus static stuff, which is really good. And in addition to that, so just picking feudal changed a few things. So Higher Creek Society, where lords, ladies, and knights reign over peasants, all stand together in battle when their fertile realm is threatened. So it's interesting. It just says structures with food income. I mean, I'm assuming everyone's got structures, but I'm thinking they probably have a unique structure with bonus food. Units benefit from close formations with stand together. So units deal 20% damage when adjacent to another friendly unit with stand together. So again, you could, if we went and stacked all these adjacency bonuses, we could really get, all about that Spartan tight formation kind of vibe. I do have the latest GPU drivers. Yes, I do. And I did not install the Windows update that came out yesterday because there's a few people commenting that there's some issues with that one. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm on the latest GPU bonus, or GPU driver as well. So barbarians, people who strive on war and aggression, they value strength and further charge head on into bloody battle. So they do get melee units of Primal Strike, which deal extra damage on the first strike in combat. The first melee attack that hits in battle deals an additional 8 blight damage. And we get Ritual of Alacrity as well. At outposts and cities, units restore 50% hit points, 100% movement speed, movement points, and remove exhausted from forced march. So Industrious is kind of what I was vibing with our dwarves. You can see the units we have access to also changes depending on which culture we're picking over here. Master builders who value grand cities and strong armor, preferring a defensive attitude over an aggressive one. So production bonus over here. And then through bolstering, units get sturdier as they get hit in battle. Units gain bolstered defense when they sustain damage. Works once per turn. Stacks up to 5 times. So as a unit gets hit, it gets more and more defense. So again, I was looking at this earlier because, I thought, well, this is very appropriate in Dwarfy. And I was wondering what would be the best way to take advantage of this bonus. And ultimately, you want to... So the more times you get hit, the better. But you'd like to get hit with a lot of little attacks to stack this up. So you could either have more bonus hit points, so that you can hit more and therefore get your bowstring bonus more. Or maybe if you started with more armor, it minimizes the hits, make them smaller, and then you get your 5 stack. I mean, I suspect a lot of the early units might just die before they get to stack this 5 times, but who knows? We got Scout Prospecting over here. Industrious Scout gains Prospecting. Again, very dwarfy to me. Yeah, +5 defense is an extra 41% reduction. Yeah, it's pretty substantial. Allowing them to prospect a cliff, mountain, or stalagmite province for production rewards. We got High Culture over here. 420 every day? No, different. A highly developed society whose members strive for harmony. When threatened, however, they wield their guiding light as a weapon. So it's sort of, I don't know, like Paladin Society. Structures have city stability and knowledge income. Units are strengthened with Awakened, revealing their hidden potential. +4 spirit damage on base attacks, and activates any dormant traits. I don't know what that is. We get more alignment towards, I believe this is the Order? I don't know, it doesn't show it over there. Oh! Yeah, this is a goodness. Good versus evil. That's not the affinity. This is good versus evil. So this is a very goodly one, I guess, as opposed to the dark version. There's some Dwargar over here, some dark dwarves. Cities can negate city stability income penalties. So yeah, we don't care if people are unhappy. Doesn't matter. Just, you know, the beatings will continue until morale improves, right? And our special ability here, units specializing in inflicting negative status effects and exploiting them with Call the Weak. So we deal bonus damage to units with negative status effects. We want to be probably picking spells that generate more status effects to combi on this. And then, yeah, we heal hit points when a unit kills a unit. This is in combat. Like, one of our traits we could pick was healing, I think, when we're finished combat. This is in combat healing if we can kill debuffed units. Dark Dwarves on Spiders for the win, yeah. And then we have the evil alignment over here. And then finally we have Mystique. Culture of scholars, driven to study every corner of the astral sea. They prefer to find answers through research and arcane prowess. Structures with more mana income. Units have attunement Starblades, making them stronger when a spell is cast in battle. When a spell is cast, this unit's base attack randomly gains +1 fire, lightning, or frost damage for 3 turns, and it can stack up to 3 times. That's really cool. We got Astral Echoes as well. Astral Echoes are mysterious whispers of the astral sea, visible and collectible only to mystic rulers. Astral Echoes grant knowledge or mana on pickup, so we get extra stuff on the map. The city structure Altar of the All-Seers grants bonus income depending on the amount of Astral Echoes collected. So, I mean, I think personally we'd end up going with Industrious Dwarves. I don't know.
What is your people's form?
I'm going to stick with tough and defensive tactics over here, actually.
What is their origin?
And Industrious over here.
What defines their...
Then, and you can see how customizable this freaking game is. Then we got to choose our society traits. We get to pick 2. Now, some of them are conflicting. Mostly, like, see, we got some good traits over here. If I pick Chosen Uniters, I can't take Ritual Cannibals or Ruthless Raiders. So it's good traits, evil traits. So some of them are mutually exclusive. There are a good number of these. I'll try to read through them real quick for you guys. Chosen Uniters, we get bonus income from vassals, we get more good alignment, we gain +1 Whispering Stone, whatever, come on, there you go, whatever that is. Whispering Stones are given to a free city to begin negotiations, which lead to it becoming your vassal. Oh, it's what we use to vassalize things. Okay, so this is the ultimate, I want to make lots and lots of vassals from the free cities thing as opposed to conquering them. Shield units and polearm units have +1 rank, so presumably they need less experience points, right? Or they've already started 1 level higher, which I would think, I wonder if all of them have a trait like that. That's interesting. And we start with an extra shield unit or polearm unit. Devotees of good, they share pure intentions, compassion, and unerring devotion to the cause of good. Cities gain bonus stability, which, I mean, stability is really good for your cities, but also your empire gains more Imperium per level of good alignment. Imperium is a resource that you use to upgrade an outpost into a proper city, and to buy empire skills. Empire skills are the ones that unlock as you bank affinity points and get a certain amount of affinity ranks, which is really, really nice. Support units and polearms have +1 rank. So Chosen Uniters and Devotees of Good would both, I mean, I'm assuming they stack for +2 ranks to polearm units. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I'm assuming they do. Imperialists are focused on the glory of the empire and the development of their cities. The Throne City, which is your capital city, and cities that shore border with the Throne City gain +20 city stability and 20 extra gold income. And the capital city starts with +1 population, which seems really strong to me. Prolific swarmers over here. They find their strength in fast population growth and overwhelming numbers. Cities require less food to gain population. All tier 1 units of +1 rank. Very sort of like low tier, rush, quantity over quality kind of strategy over here. Non-magic origin units require reduced unit upkeep, so you can have lots and lots of cheap units. And we start with an extra tier 1 unit. Ritual cannibals. Yeah, what's the deal? They believe both in the spiritual power of life and in the value of a good banquet. Units gain the corpse eating ability. Destroy target corpse to heal 15 points. Can only be used once in battle, presumably per unit. We are more evil, and the nearest city owned gains +3 mana and +3 food per tier of non-magic origin unit killed or lost after a successful battle. So for every fantastical unit that dies in combat, the nearest city gets a fancy dinner. Rimworld now is what we are. Ruthless Raiders. Oop. They murder without remorse, more interested in loot and plunder than right or wrong. I think what's happening is if I pan over and I mouse over this on the way, I'm resetting the tooltip. There we go. Nearest city gains gold and draft. Draft is your production. So a city's production is actually split into two different things. There's actual production, which is building buildings, and there's draft, which is building military units. So some buildings give you both, some give you one versus the other. So this is giving you more draft. So if we kill units, I guess presumably we are capturing those units or ransoming them or whatever. So as we kill more units, we're going to be able to recruit more units, make more units. We also start with 2 random hero items. That's quite cool. Ancient Wise One. When a tome is unlocked, so these are like spellbooky things, I think. I'm not entirely sure. A random skill from that tome costs 60% reduced knowledge. Yeah, so I think as we unlock more spellbooks, we get to research one thing from the spellbook much cheaper, which is cool. And one random research skill is already unlocked. I mean, who doesn't love playing a tech-based kind of setup, right? More people see good loot and enlist presumably. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. The more successful we are in battle, this is the Ruthless Raiders, more people want to sign up to the military. That makes sense. Gifted casters. We get more combat casting points and more world map casting points. So yeah, we're good at casting spells, and we start with an extra combat spell unlocked. Pretty straightforward, but pretty good. Mana challenge. Summoning spells cost 40% less mana to cast. So if we want to play with all about like summoned magical units, this is the way to do it. Magic origin units, which are presumably the ones we summon, have +1 rank, and we start with an extra magic origin unit already in our starting army. Really cool if you want to play a wizardy kind of vibe, which I don't think is what we're going to do for the dwarven race we're putting together over here. I don't know what we're going to take. Adept settlers. They share a natural talent for cultivating the land. They thrive on fertile plains, quickly expand their realm. +1 city cap. Founding cities cost 50% less Imperium. Newly founded cities get +1 population. And capital city starts with +1 population. I suspect this is a really strong trait. I don't think this is the vibe I want to go for my dwarves here, but I bet this is really good. Just a feeling I'm getting. Experienced seafarers. I don't think that's what we're doing. I don't think we're going aquatic dwarves, but fisheries yield more gold, food, and draft. Naval units cost 25% less to recruit and maintain, and naval units a +2 rank. Probably really strong on an ocean map, but I don't think we're going to do this kind of vibe. Fabled Hunters. Legendary hunters sharing strong survival instincts and excelling on ranged combat and exploration. Gain +100% resources from clearing an infestation, ancient wonder, or resource node. Range units and skirmish units +1 rank, and we start with extra range units. Great builders. This sounds pretty good. They form a society of builders and makers who take pride in things they construct. Quarries yield +2 gold. Special province improvements cost 50% less production. Starting city starts with a workshop and stone walls. Sounds fairly dwarfy to me. But also runesmiths. And I mean, all these, I think Materium Affinity is really the vibe for the dwarves I'm thinking of for right now. I mean, if we're going for like classic dwarves, right? Runesmiths, they're legendary smiths weaving magic into their finely crafted creation through enchantments. Enchantments? Unit enchantment research cost is 30% less. So we research these types of techs faster. Unit enchantments cost 30% less upkeep. Shield units and polearm units have +1 rank. And we start with an extra shield unit or polearm unit. Wonder Architects is another one of these Materium ones. They're fascinated by unique constructions and the ancient wonders of old. Ancient wonders do not require population in order to be annexed to a city. Don't really know what these are yet. It says ancient wonder contain adventure and rewards, only be explored by an army led by a hero. So they're the map things that we clear out. But then apparently we can annex them to the city, provide city income. Annexed Ancient Wonder counts as a type of province improvement. Ancient Wonders can be bronze, silver, or gold, depending on the rarity, difficulty, and value. And I guess normally, yeah. So normally, the way it works in this game is your city has, the map is divided into tiny little provinces, basically. And their city occupies one of the provinces. And then for every population that you get in your city, you can annex one of the adjacent provinces into your city. And depending on the type of terrain, you'll be able to get various bonuses from it. You choose at the time that you annex. And normally you need a population, but here it looks like with this, we can annex the Ancient Wonders without the population cost. We also get a 20% production per annexed Ancient Wonders. I wonder if this is per annex to this specific city. That's what I'm assuming, but you could interpret this as global, right? So if we have 5 cities and 3 of them have 1 Ancient Wonder, does it mean all my cities get plus 60% production? I suspect not. I suspect it's each one of those cities would get a 20% boost, but I don't know. Next, we got some slightly darker ones. What's this affinity called? Shadow Affinity. Devious Watchers. They share questionable morals, knowing that information is an advantage over those without it. Cities and provinces have plus 2 vision range. Scout units have universal camouflage, so they're not visible in any terrain. Cannot be seen in the world map. Oh, that's pretty sweet. I expect this is really nice in multiplayer. The Wayfarer unit enchantment is already active and costs no mana upkeep. Well, I don't know what the Wayfarer unit enchantment is, but okay. And we start with Scout unit. Powerful evokers. They emanate raw powers. They release an endless, barrage of destruction upon all in their path. Battle Mage units and support units of plus 1 rank. Battle Mage units and support units provide plus 5 combat casting points at the start of each combat. Okay. This would be really good with the trait that makes us do bonus magic damage, because I suspect Battle Mage units probably do magic damage. Start with an extra Battle Mage unit or support unit. And finally, Scions of Evil. They share a thirst for knowledge and power, thriving in their pursuit of evil. Cities gain plus 10 draft, and Empire gains plus 10 Imperium per level of evil alignment. So it's the counter to like one of the devotees of good, I think. I think this is the mirror image of that. So we'll recruit units faster and be able to get more Imperium, which is used for a variety of different things. As we get more and more evil, we start slightly more evil. Units are recruited plus 1 rank when you're at the maximum evil alignment. Shock units and shield units plus 1 rank. And we start with an extra one of those. So, I mean, I'm tempted for our dwarfy build to be like very, like, you know, maybe very dwarfy like that. I think I want to take Great Builders. I think I like that, but we might take something else. I don't know what. We could be Imperialists. Dwarven Empire? Evil dwarfs? The Editors did seem cool, but I think it's very good, but I don't think that's the vibe I want for my dwarves here. Builder and economy based. I did like the runesmiths. We could go builders plus runesmiths. So we could be all about just enchanting the heck out of our gear. Cannibal dwarfs. What game was it? Was it Divinity Original Sin? That setting, the elves are cannibals, right? Yeah. Build other things. Which one makes mugs? That's a great question. Uniters plus runesmith. See, the Uniters are interesting. I guess the question is, with free cities, are we looking to conquer them? Or are we looking to vassalize them? Now, we're not actually starting a Let's Play today, so I guess we don't have to stress too badly. We've already been streaming an hour. I'm going to just click these two. We're going to the next screen, because there's a lot more left to do. Choose your first Tome of Magic. I mean, Tome of Enchantment makes a lot of sense for what we're going to pick over here, because we got a discount to doing enchantment because of our picks. So we've got a bunch of things here. Ooh, summon enchanted animated armor, spell tempered shields. Plus 1 resistance, and when we go into defensive mode, we get more resistance. Secret arrows for our ranged physical attacks get plus 1 range. Sunring Blade, 60% chance of inflicting sundered defense, reducing enemy defenses. Oh, that's quite cool. And Awakened Tools. Target friendly city has plus 20 production, draft, but reduced stability. What other books we have? Tome of Rock. I mean, come on! Rock and Stone, baby! Smash your enemies with the Force of Stone, specializing in increasing defense and dealing physical damage. There's also other bonuses that go on here. Oh, production per quarry. I think our builder one gives us gold per quarry, so that becomes a high priority thing to target. Oh, what else we got here? Tome of Roots, obviously not for us. Tome of Beasts. So summoning mark as prey. Animal kinship. Tome of Zeal. Rally your fanatic population for common goal. Use units of zeal to inflict condemned on enemies. Tome of Faith. Heal and support units through the power of the faithful. Yeah, so you get some heal spells. And, I mean, lots of stuff. Tome of Souls. The Necronomicon. Harvest souls from your enemies and create undead creatures. Specialize in expendable units and starting your soul economy? What? What? Advanced rights allow creation of bone golems. You can create in a city using souls or by fusing 2 skeleton units. Oh, God. Oh, so good. Cryomancy, so cold things. Warding. Specialized magic protects your units from damage. Tome of Evocation grants excellent and cheap attack spells. Tome of Pyromancy, burn baby burn. Tome of the Horde, turn your cheapest units into large deadly armies. Specialize in summoning and buffing tier 1 units. So again, very compatible with that swarm tactic before if we're all going to be about tier 1 units. Okay, I'm going to choose Tome of Enchantment. We got to move along here. These are all tier 1 tombs. I think you find more as you go. Then we choose our ruler's origin here. Champion. All cities have plus 10% gold income, plus 20 stability. All non-hero units gain plus 20% experience. And we start with 100 relation with free cities. Or we start as the Wizard King, powerful wizard seeking dominion over new realm. All cities have plus 10% mana income, plus 5 world map casting points and combat casting points per level of the Wizard King. So this is we're going to spam a billion spells. And Wizard Kings have overchannel ability in combat. Let us cast an additional spell this turn. So I think they can cast 2 spells per turn. Although, yeah, only once per battle. I'm going to choose Champion because I think that's the vibe for this character. Although, I think we're going to have to do a Let's Play at some point with these guys, like Evil Wizard Let's Play. And then we got our cosmetic side of it. And I love so much that they do have a randomized button. I think that's what it is. We don't have a tooltip on that. Body type. Physique. Let's be a chunky boy. Arm length. There's like a lot of options here, which is great. Leg length. I mean, shorter is better, right? Obviously, we got to be much more stable and down to the ground. I'm trying to speed up here because we're over an hour already. My voice, after all the extra content this week, is not doing a good job. Hey, Dan the Man Stan, thanks for the sub. Skin decoration. So we got all sorts of like paints. Ooh, half burned face. I like the scarred cheek over here. That's looking pretty good. Heads. I mean, more and more of this is starting to look like me. Just tired. I'm just tired all the time. I think I kind of like that one, actually. I think I want this one. Oh, I skipped pose. Oh, my bad. Sneaky. Broad and aloof. Open. Just kind of chilling with some of these. Where's the T-pose? I need to show my my superiority here. So this one has our weapons. I don't know. Kind of just straight up standing there. Needs a horn hat though. Well, funny you should say that. Let's scroll down a little bit to the helmet category. And you can see the little notches here. Teeny tiny. There's a lot of helmet options. Right? Tons and tons of options over here. And I think some of the options are dependent on some of the other things you've picked at this point. I'm not sure. But I was very disappointed. Did you see a horned helmet in any of this? I mean, sort of. But like, not what the one I was thinking of. And I was like, geez, that's so weird they didn't have that. But then, custom cosmetic, baby. I know this isn't as big, but otherwise, and this will be available as a Twitch drop later on for you. There's some other people streaming today. You'll want to check out their channels. Maybe they may be streaming after me. They may have already streamed, and you're going to want to check the VODs. If you check like the Age of Wonders 4 Twitter, they've got a post talking about everyone who's there. But Burke? I don't know who all the cosmetics are for. But yeah, there's a few other channels that have got this. So there's going to be Twitch drops and things. Yeah, the glasses come with the hat. That was amazing. Amazing. I love it so much because it's so distinctively me. What do you have for capes? No capes. Back thing? No, I think I liked, Oh, the one shoulder pad? Maybe. A little cold today, so I kind of want one of the furry ones. I don't think the feathers is what I want. I don't think I want the back thing either. I think I'm going to do the one-shouldered. There you go. One shoulder guard. Okay. Yeah. You got... All right, we got our faction coloration as well that we can do. I don't know where the yellow... Oh, that's... Oh, yeah. Yellow and blue, that's quite nice. And then we got, yeah, the symbol for our empire. I think we're going to go for a battle hammer. Either that or an axe. Twin hammers. There we go. That's going to be us over here. Right. Oh, yeah. This is our starting weapons, which actually does change things. So we can start with shield and hammer. So we start with... Oops. Industrious hammer. This is on our ruler unit. As well as a wooden shield. A hero mount. Mounts can be equipped to heroes in relevant slot, generally grant fast movement and hit points. Certain powerful weapons cannot be wielded with mount. Mount the hero starts with depends on their race and any form the race might have chosen, and we start with Vigor 1, 10 extra hit points. Whereas if we start with the Great Hammer instead, we actually apparently don't start with a mount in that situation. We just get a big Great Hammer, 18 base damage, huh? 18, you say? Or we should check the first pose as well, because it'll actually show our weapon. Crossbow, fire staff, fire orb. I mean, that's not what we're looking for here. I think I want to start with the mount. That sounds really cool. The grapes look like Brussels sprouts. Oh, for the symbols. Oh, that's a good point. What do we have in the race here? Oh, my whole species. Oh, I want chunky dwarves with short arms and even shorter legs. Yes. Red-skinned dwarves. Oh my god, there's so many. I hadn't even noticed this before. I'd missed this previously. I like this sort of like kind of ruddy, like almost like a red clay kind of vibe going on. I like that a lot. Golden or bronzed armor, I suppose. I kind of like the bronze armor look. No, I do need some contrast. Yes. Oh, army mount type. Oh, there you go. There, we can see what kind of mounts we're going to have. Yes! I mean, that's a beautiful horse. That is a gorgeous horse. I don't think that's for us. So it looks like for dwarves, it does default to, it looks like boars. And I was pretty sure that my hero, because the default was the hammer and shield, my hero started with a boar mount. That looks like a wolf, maybe. Or maybe different types of boars. I wish this guy could move. They can't rotate this view, unfortunately. Different horse? Is that a little pony? Sorry, I probably peaked the mic. That's a little pony. I think if I was playing halflings, that's what we'd do. But I think I want to go with... So yeah, that's probably a warg. Yeah. That's definitely a warg type thing. I don't know if this one is. It might be a wolf, but that's different from the wolf mount. I think it's a boar, and I like the boar. It does say you can rotate, but that's not here. It's when I'm at the ruler thing. Now I can rotate, but we can't rotate on the other screen. It still has the tip information here, but it's going to be that. I know I literally said it like 3 times now. I know it says rotate, but we can't rotate this screen. I can't zoom it either. It's just over here where I can rotate and zoom. You guys want the pony? All right, we got a lot of people pushing for pony, so that's what we're going to do. Okay. So now there's a little bit more. If I hit select, there we go.
Journey begins.
Well, I do like First Protector as my name. What's the name of our race? To be Emperor. Emperor Quill 18. Glory to Emperor Quilitine, champion of our kind. He will bring a new age of prosperity to the somethings. Belgium, the drunk dwarves. The Quildren, Quillians, Sproutlings. The Mountain Sprouts. Oh, I like that. Who said that? Black Spiral. Good one. The Mountain Sprouts. Love it. Stout, hardy, and stubborn beings who are used to living in the most rugged regions of the world. They're tough and used to taking a few hits in battle. They have trained to cover any gaps in their defensive formations. They have respect for smiths and other artisans, preferring a strong wall over decorated plows. I love how it's like generating this text based on our picks. They honor their builders and artisans, taking pride in their grand constructions. They are legendary smiths, capable of crafting the finest armor and weapons. That sounds perfect. Children of the Earth. Yeah, I like Petra Pounders too. But yeah, I like the Mountain Sprouts. So I cannot hit the next button, because that would launch us into the actual game with proper gameplay. So we're going to have to end here. But I hope that this has whetted your appetite for whatever comes next. So I do what game over here, remind myself. Gameplay dates. We are going to be streaming gameplay on April the 22nd and the 29th. And the game comes out on May the 2nd, which is 2 months away, not 1 month away, because math is hard. Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this. Yes, today unfortunately I cannot show you the actual gameplay itself. It was just the faction creation. As a reminder, at some point, the custom cosmetics for this will be made available as Twitch drops. So presumably, I mean, I don't know, I can't guarantee it, but I think the idea is to have it available as a Twitch drop when it gets time to. One will be actually streaming some gameplay, which is a while away. It's a little over a month away, but I'm pretty excited. So we're going to go ahead and load this bad boy up. And we look at the other faction. I mean, there wasn't anything else to look at. We looked at all the possible traits you could use for your faction. I think. I might be wrong about that. So in theory, we covered all the things. So we're wrapping up the stream here. Thanks a lot, everyone who came out. Our next live stream is going to be on Saturday, where we are going to be starting a brand new Dwarf Fortress run. I mean, we're kind of on brand here, right? I can use this to make a thumbnail. Paradox and Triumph, you okay with that? Maybe it's a good cross-promotion thing, right? We can just tie it in. It's going to be we can tie it in as the same story between the two. That could be quite cool. Basically, we made Dwarf Fortress dwarves here, which is wonderful. So yeah, Saturday is our next live stream. We're playing Dwarf Fortress. Monday, we are back with more Dyson Sphere program. And Wednesday, we don't know. Wednesday's been kind of a bit of a wild card. We might be playing more Kerbal, though. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's Quill Expanded Universe. Yeah, it's the Quill Cinematic Universe is what we're talking about here. Absolutely. So thank you very much, folks. And I'll see you in a couple of days. Bye-bye.